I'm Dan Rydell alongside Casey McCall. Wait, hang on.
That is not the right one.
Live from New York, it's son of a... Oh, yeah, it's DragonConTV's Late Show. Hi, everybody.
He's prepped as always.
Yeah, where did these notes come from? My name is Brian Richardson. I'm standing here beside Allie Pelfrey and the Doctor, Stephen Grenade.
We don't even get to introduce ourselves
I know. So he's just taking over the whole show. I thought you put me in charge.
Okay, fine. What do you want to do next, Allie?
Well, I guess first we should talk about rebranding.
Oh, yeah.
Doing things different this year.
Yes, we're like a Ron Moore reboot.
Yep.
Which I think makes you an angel. Isn't that what happens?
Probably, yeah. I'm just going to disappear at the end of the show.
Right.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Once we get to Ireland, everything will be great.
Yes. No one's going to die of sepsis. So we're rebranded.
Yes, we are the DragonConTV Late Show.
Like stolen cattle.
Because all of the DragonCon video properties now are going to be on the DragonConTV YouTube channel. So subscribe to DragonConTV on the YouTubes. We'll also get that fixed in the app so that when you go to official videos in the DragonCon app, which you should totally download, it's awesome.
Yes. You can watch us on your phone.
You can watch us on your phone. It'll be kind of weird and creepy and tiny.
Carry us in your pocket. Tinier. Wait, no.
No.
Yeah, pants jokes omitted. So we'll just do all that stuff on the DragonConTV YouTube channel. It'll be kind of cool.
Excellent.
And we also, will coming up, you'll see new graphics like the ones that magically appear below us. We've did a little bit of a refresh on the DragonConTV graphics, thank you, Cole. And that will be part of our brand this year. We have brand awareness, which cows have that too.
Yes.
So,
for a very short period of time.
Building our brand.
Yes.
Hang our brand. Isn't that the new slogan for the Late Show? Hang our brand.
Anyway, please switch topics.
Moving right along.
Oh my God. What have we been doing since we haven't been doing this?
But have you done any things other than this?
Well, I've traveled.
I've been sleeping and hibernating.
Yeah. Traveling a lot for the work. I had someone drill into my sinuses.
That
fun.
sounds delicious.
Well, they told me it was fun. I was unconscious the entire time. I had to have sinus surgery.
Exciting.
People have told me the timbre of my voice has changed.
Welcome to WebMD, the series.
Yes.
It's probably cancer.
It turns out that if you pick your nose, it's not a good idea, but if you pay somebody a lot of money to do it, they're called a doctor, and insurance will cover that. So that's kind of cool. Allie, what you been up to?
All the things.
I heard you cheated on us with another convention.
Yes, my convention.
Your convention.
My convention. I helped put on a Pacific Rim convention called Shatterdome Atlanta, and we're doing it again next year.
So that makes
Got away from me there.
Con curious? How does that work? I don't understand.
I go both ways.
Oh, hey. Look at that. And we're going to pass right by that joke and go straight to Stephen. What have you been up to?
Well, I actually attended the Shatterdome Pacific Rim convention, which was awesome. But most of my off time has been taken over because I have ascended to directorhood. I am now the track director for the science track here at DragonCon. I am too good.
Yeah.
So,
but we make him be on here anyway because he's under contract.
That's true. I can't buy myself out yet.
Yeah,
I don't have the qualities.
Terrible.
So yeah, I am helping organize the science track, getting guests in, planning the things that we're going to be doing. It's super awesome and super time consuming.
And also all the planning.
All the planning. Yeah, I didn't realize there was planning involved. I thought you just showed up and science happened, but it turns out science has to be planned.
No, science, if you're not writing it down, it's just screwing around.
That's right.
If you're writing it down, it's science.
Not everything is an accidental 3M post-it note discovery. Some things you have to plan.
There we go.
Science jokes!
Science jokes!
Playing talk pinball.
Talk pinball. Allie's just going to be like this.
What?
It's the Wimbledon of talk shows, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm like a cat on a ping pong table.
Yeah, look at that. All right, that means we probably ought to talk about DragonCon itself, the actual con thing that we're doing.
I hear there's a convention.
What are we
looking forward to?
Oh my God, the guests. The guests are actually feel like a side note at DragonCon sometimes. They're going to show up anyway, and the guests just happen to be there.
Are the guests going to watch you saying that they are potentially a secondary thing?
That's on the internet. Nobody sees things happen on the internet. Wait, what?
So the agent is going to do some research and be like, nope to the Late Show.
That's why we don't do the interviews.
Although we're going to have guests this year on the Late Show.
They're so cool.
One of the guests that I'm looking forward to is Kelly Sue DeConnick,
Yay!
Writer of Captain Marvel and Pretty Deadly. So if you're into comic books, check us out on Sunday morning at the convention.
That's right. We have guests. Thank you, Allie, for guests.
Yes.
Yes, I am awesome.
Yay! So, Stephen, you have a guest that you are looking forward to?
I do have a guest I'm looking forward to. We have Beekman. Oh! Paul Zaloom from
science.
Beekman's World is going to be doing a couple of Beekman's World performances and a panel discussing what it was like to work on Beekman's World. I'm really excited. I mean, that's a big part of a lot of people's childhood. He was an introduction to science in sort of the same way that Bill Nye has been for folks, like Cosmos has been. And it's really exciting for me to have someone like that at DragonCon to be doing science for folks and then talking about what it's like to do those kinds of educational programs. So super cool.
Awesome. Terry Gilliam was just announced as a guest about a week ago, and I'm really looking forward to that. really interesting director. Just got done with the whole like
Interesting.
Interesting.
That's the way to put it.
Interesting. Sorry, I'm used to being on podcasts, so I don't have to air quote with my hands. But yeah, interesting.
Interesting in an awesome way.
Yes.
I think we're gonna have to figure out how to do the graphics during his live performances, where the giant foot just kind of comes in and crushes him.
Excellent.
But
we call
yeah,
that the upper third.
The upper third, yes. That'll be great. We could just do it analog, like the 16-ton weight that they had on Monty Python's.
I figured you just have it like the actual print out one of the screenshots of it and then slowly lower it in front of the camera.
Yeah, that's kind of
that's our level of special effects.
That's our budget. Our effects are special. Ooh, so very, very special. Oh yeah, Sir Patrick Stewart is back as a guest.
Yes.
We've been picking up more Warehouse 13 guests, so we pretty much have we got a good size of the warehouse. We at least have a storage unit worth of Warehouse 13 guests.
The Annex 13A.
Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, that'll be fun.
That's a joke I'd probably get if I watched the show, right?
Probably.
No, not really. It was really just not our best work. Let's be honest. Okay, so aside from guests,
Yes.
what are we looking forward to? Because we know the con guests are good. Don't turn down interviews, but also we know that the con is its own sort of culture, much the way that a petri dish is. Avoid con. We'll talk about that later. But what are you looking forward to, non-main guest-wise, at our con?
I'm looking forward to some of the fan meetups.
Yes.
In particular, there's a Pacific Rim fan meetup. There's also a Carol Corps meetup, which is for Captain Marvel fans.
Why is there a Captain Marvel meetup?
That's my fault. I'm half responsible for co-organizing that, but
So you're the captain, but not the Marvel? Is that how that works?
something like that. But I love the fan meetups because it's a chance for everyone to get together and talk about their favorite things. I love the communities that come out of fandom. So it's a lot of fun to get to put faces to names of people that you might chat with a lot online in some of the fandom communities.
Oh, you posted all that dirty stuff on Tumblr. Yay! It's nice to not shake
My
your
stuff
hand.
is kid friendly. Thank you very much.
With or without a ball pit.
We'll explain later.
I'm very-
Brian, what are you looking for?
It's like a Doctor Who episode. I'll explain
I
later.
was going to say, I was very impressed that you're like, here's a fandom I'm in, and now something is happening that I'm organizing. That
Yay,
seems
organization,
to be
all of
your
the
method of
things.
operation.
It's like, I really like Pacific Rim. Let me do a convention.
Yay! It's called overcommitment. Woohoo!
Yep, I'm good at it. Brian, what are you looking for?
I am just looking forward kind of to getting back into the culture part of DragonCon. Because of the wonderful videography staff that actually is like competent and does things, I went to this thing called a room party last year, and it was kind of amazing.
Wow.
And I realized that I used
He
to...
called me competent.
I didn't say the entire staff, just a good portion of it.
Hey.
Hey, I'm just kidding.
He's like, please do not quit. Please do not
Please
quit.
don't quit now! The thing is,
Table flip.
when I back in the day when videography was much smaller and it was more like me and a couple of people, I used to do more of the production for the DVDs, and I would go around and do interviews, not just with the guests at the con, but also fans, and get cosplay interviews and do that kind of stuff. And then I sort of got into the real directing thing and trying to organize stuff, and I missed that. I actually missed getting into the actual culture of the convention. So we're actively doing that a lot more this year, and I think it's going to be good that, and this is an important thing for anybody who works at a convention, make sure you actually see the con that you're at. And remember why you're at that thing. Otherwise, you'll like burn out or just like, I sit in this room all day. This is a terrible thing. And then the greatest thing in the world is happening just like outside of your little door in your room. So I'm really looking forward not to a particular person at the con, but the people at the con.
Yeah.
So Stephen, aside from Beekman showing up and doing all the science in your room and you cleaning up all the side effects of his
Sweeping
crazy
up
science.
the science afterwards, yes.
What are you looking
I
forward
need a
to?
beaker to like sweep the actual, yes. That beaker.
Beaker full of scotch.
One of the things that I'm
comes
really
later.
really enjoy is seeing all of the different parties and shows that the different tracks will put on.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's just such a wide variety of those kinds of things going on, from just straight up dance party, you got the DJ going, to to hangouts, to we're doing a variety show on the
Science
science
Variety
track.
Yep.
There will be puppets and PowerPoint karaoke.
And Amber Nash from Archer.
And Amber Nash from Archer.
Awesome.
So I
Protective goggles, I would
Yes.
recommend that. The goggles, they do nothing.
But I really like seeing how the different tracks do get-togethers for people who are fans of the thing that the track is about, and I like the variety of those. And that's just one of the things about the convention that I've really come to enjoy over the last several years, because for the longest time I was in Tech Up, sort of in the basement, never going anywhere, burning
Yeah.
out, and started over the last couple of years actually seeing the convention. I was like, oh, they have these parties and they're cool.
And people talk and
they're-
stuff.
Yes.
I really want to see the Hitchhiker's Party this year.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be kind of amazing. The only thing that I have that counts as cosplay, there was a time traveler event a couple years ago, and I was the laziest time traveler ever. I just put on a bathrobe, took the hotel towel, and was Arthur Dent. So it's like $10 cosplay.
See, I really like the Time Traveler's Ball, but I'm waiting for someone to take the old dictum that the best costume is no costume at all, because then, well, you can always find naked people.
Yeah, but that's Terminator 2.
That is Terminator. But then you have to
Give me
appear
your
the ball
pants.
with the lightning, or else it's just not as
I
good.
want
Remember,
to take
no
your
costume
clothes.
is no costume.
That's
at
right.
DragonCon.
And the thing is, if a naked guy shows up at you at DragonCon and asks for your clothes, I would call security.
Yes.
I'm not going to ask if he's in character. I'm just going to immediately go to 222 in the Hyatt. So, all right. Oh, General Con advice. This is the big one. How do we survive this thing? Because I've been doing DragonCon now for 16 years. Hasn't killed me yet.
This will be my
Keeps
13th
trying.
year. Or my 7th, 8th on staff.
Yeah.
Something
yeah.
like that. I don't know.
I've
I
only been
lost
there
count.
11 years. I'm the younger.
Which is kind of my fault, really. Let's be honest.
is kind
Sorry about that. Sorry about that, everybody. So,
General DragonCon advice, and this will sound funny coming from me, but don't overcommit. There's lots and lots
stole
of stuff
my
to do.
joke.
I know.
Now I got to
know,
come up with
beat
real
you to it.
advice.
Yep.
Yeah, so tell us about not overcommitting, Allie.
What's that like?
Committing. I wouldn't know.
If you cosplay, don't bring too much crap.
Yeah.
You know, that
Try
kind
to
of
keep
thing.
it down to a costume a day. I know a lot of you are laughing at me when I say that.
Her roommate
but
at con is laughing at her. Do what? No.
Costume an hour. Like a friend of mine who has the Google Calendar with the I'm wearing this costume for these 2 hours, and this costume for these 3 hours, and this one for this hour.
Wow.
Yeah,
They're color-coded. It's
make
very
sure
impressive.
you get sleep. Try to get 4 hours of sleep minimum.
Yeah. My rule at con is 6-2-1. 6 hours of sleep, 2 meals a day, 1 shower a day. I try to go for 8-3-1, which is the way you really ought to live your life. But
And how
that
often
doesn't
do
always
you
happen.
reach 831?
Not during con. The meals I tend to do better on.
Yeah.
And because, Hungry Brian is Grumpy Brian, and nobody needs that. So I end up doing like 8-2.51 or 6-2.51 because I'm like constantly consuming like zone bars and like trail mix and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
If you're traveling with a group of people and you know somebody has like a dietary issue, like glycemic sort of thing,
Keep
don't-
snacks.
Keep snacks, and don't ask them if they ate. Ask them what they last ate.
Or-
And if they can't answer that question, you take a snack and shove it in their face. Like,
Yes.
"Whoom."
We don't want hangry
With the
people.
chewing noise.
Yeah.
No.
Limit the hangry.
Stephen, advice for surviving.
2 things. 1, hydrate. Drink a lot of water, especially if you have not been to DragonCon before and have not experienced our lovely Atlanta weather.
We have
in
all the
summer.
humidity.
All of the humidity, all of the heat, and now that we're over a bunch of hotels, unless you're going to stay in one hotel, you're going to be outside. And even if you do stay in one hotel, those air conditioners, after a while, they're cranking really hard to
Which,
try to
by
keep
the
up.
way, sometimes going or literally like outside and around the hotels is quicker than trying to go through all the habit trails.
Yes.
So
If you haven't been to
Definitely do that.
DragonCon, when we talk about Habit Trail, there are above street passages that connect the hotels. And in a general working day in downtown Atlanta, they are faster than leaving the building and going out of the sidewalk. 60,000 plus people in the 3 main hotels that are connected by said tunnels, not so much. Sometimes they will be closed by security or traffic monitored, and sometimes just going out the back and going around the side, even though you're going to have the dampness from the moistures,
Yeah.
you're probably still going to get around faster.
Yes, and speaking of, there are shuttle buses that will be
Oh,
running
yeah.
between the host hotels and the overflow hotels, especially if you're doing a lot of cosplay and you've got a lot of gear to deal with. Consider running with the shuttle buses. The
Yeah.
schedules will be in the Daily Dragon and the app and all of those kinds of places. So look those up, see where the rally points are for them, consider using those. Again, if you've got mobility issues, if you've got costumes that are really hard to deal with and you don't, for example, want to walk 4 blocks in
Yeah.
the Atlanta heat.
There is the nice about the shuttle bus route, it goes outside of the main 5 hotels, because just renting a bus between the 5 hotels, not that useful. So, like we were saying, get the app. The app has all the maps for the hotels along with the bus route in it.
Yeah, check your app maps.
Also, the parade. We should talk a little bit about the parade.
oh,
The nice thing about the parade this year, there's a bunch of stuff going on about the parade. Some of it you'll find out closer to con, but the one thing about the parade, if you saw the route last year, it's the same route this year. We're going to have a map as a bumper on DragonConTV to update people with like little animation on it.
Comes
And
with arrows.
we also have the map will be published on the Daily Dragon, and also if you follow the DragonCon Media Relations Twitter account, they'll be publishing that kind of stuff closer to con as well. More stuff about the parade as we get closer to it. It'll be a big part of the late show this year. We're going to have so much fun with the parade. It's going to be great.
We're going to reenact it with little figurines, 5-foot
Yeah.
steps.
So we
We'll
just
have
need a
to
lot of
do-
Stormtrooper action
Yeah.
figures. We're going to have to go to eBay and get a ton of those because
Excellent.
I mailed a diorama.
We're going to put them all up, and then you hit the first one, and they all fall down like dominoes.
I broke my Wookiee.
Pew, 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 pew.
Okay, who wants to talk about registration? I'm a director. I don't know
I was going to say I have.
It's in the
I've actually never
Sheraton?
done registration.
Yes.
Bottom floor of the Sheraton. So if you are coming to the Sheraton from, for example, the Hilton side, there's the entrance that sort of slopes down the street and goes in. That's the level that you'll want to go in to get to registration.
There will be signs.
There will be signs. There will be tape on the floor.
And there will be lines.
Color-coded tape.
There'll be lines.
Yeah.
Remember, Thursday registration opens at 10 a.m. Every other day registration opens at 8 a.m.
Yes.
The closing.
And it closes at 10 a.m.
It
10
varies.
p.m. every
It varies
day.
per day, I think.
We haven't quite gotten into the hotel situation where the badges open and then close immediately.
Yeah. So check the website for registration times. If you show up Thursday, be advised that is the longest line you're going to see probably for registration, aside from Saturday walk-up registrations.
Yeah.
So make sure if you're showing up Thursday and you want to get your badge before you check in, that's a good time to hang out and meet people. I.e., you'll be standing in line if you show up before 10. But the line
Something
will
to
be
read, make
nothing,
friends.
and it moves really fast once it starts up because our registration crew is actually kind of awesome. That's also, there's a blood drive post in the Sheraton. There's also a blood drive post in the Marriott. Read up on the website about the blood drive. It's kind
Wait
of
until
amazing.
after you get your badge
Yes.
to get your blood drawn
Yes.
so that you don't,
We prefer you
Pass out
not
in
pass
line.
out. Yes.
Yeah, good idea. And also, we have the Atlanta Food Bank as our charity this year.
Sweet.
Check the website there at dragoncon.org. There is a food drop site at the Sheraton, I believe, in registration for food donations.
Yeah.
You need to read the rules about what kind of food to bring because I've worked volunteer shift at Atlanta Food Bank, and they're kind of picky about what they accept. It has to do with expiration dates and food allergies and that kind of stuff. So just
We
check
try
the
to
website
avoid
for
buckets
that.
of salmonella, things like
Yeah,
that.
bucket of peanuts, not always good for people. Now you got to get to registration, which means you might want to take some form of transport. Allie, do you have any opinions on that?
Try to...
Reset.
Take two. Use take two.
Anyway. If you're driving into the convention, I definitely recommend taking MARTA. Park at a MARTA stop. Find one of the ones that has overnight parking. If you're flying in, there is a MARTA station in the airport, and it's a straight shot up to Peachtree Center. There will be lots of people there happy to direct you to the DragonCon hotels from there. If you're in the Hyatt or the Marriott, you don't even have to go out on the street. You can just come right up into Peachtree Center and go to your hotel. It's a lot easier than parking downtown, which is really expensive.
Yeah. You're going to pay minimum $20 a day to park downtown during the convention?
Minimum.
Yeah.
And that's if you get that
And that's
way
not at the
parking,
hotels.
so it's-
The hotels
Yeah.
are convenient but more expensive.
Well, and a lot of the street level parking around downtown is going to be the come pay cash every morning before 8 a.m. So think
Yeah.
about whether you want to be up every morning before 8 a.m. to put cash in one of these boxes so that you don't come back to a space where your car used to be.
Yeah.
Or your car booted.
Yes, or where your car used to be and somebody else already parked there because that's the way Atlanta works.
Yep.
Another important thing to remember, we're talking about directions. Atlanta has this great program called ambassadors. They are people who kind of dress like they ought to be working at a zoo. They have the like pike helmets and shorts
You
and
put
shirts and
goggles
everything.
on them and they could be steady.
Exactly. They are actually paid by the city of Atlanta to give directions. They're not weird mall cops. It turns out they're like people who know downtown, will give you maps, will give you directions. There is an Atlanta Ambassador station next to the Westin, diagonal from the Hard Rock Cafe. And you'll see the ambassadors walking around downtown, and they may stop and ask if you need directions.
Yep.
Or
And
they're very
they're-
approachable, friendly. And
They're
some of
used
them,
to DragonCon, so
Yeah.
they're not going to be
Oh, they love
weirded
us.
out by you coming up in a costume or anything. They're very friendly.
yeah, I actually was downtown a couple months ago to start scouting the looting.
The looting. I see what you're planning to do with your DragonCon.
I'm going to get a Stormtrooper costume, one piece at a time. The shooting location for the parade, and an ambassador walked up because I was standing around taking a lot of pictures, and they were asking if I needed help. And I'm like, no, I'm just here prepping for the DragonCon parade. Turned into a 20-minute conversation. Guy was a fan.
Excellent.
Knew people that worked with us. One of the ambassadors is a long-time volunteer for DragonCon Tech Ops, and had a great time. So they're looking forward to it.
Cool.
And my notes are upside down. That's not going to help. I think, according to our producer's excellent note-taking, it is time to close up the show. So, Stephen, any final thoughts for our Episode 0 prep for DragonCon?
Final thoughts, please get some sleep before the convention because you're not going to get a tremendous amount of
Yes.
sleep during the convention, most
Yeah.
likely. So just try to come in to the con refreshed rather than completely burnt out because
Yeah.
it's not going to get better.
I'm probably not going to follow that.
No,
advice,
no, none of
I'm
us are
still
going
not
to
done
do
with
that.
my costume.
But
Editing
it's-
videos.
It's
Sorry.
good advice.
Yes. And you can find us on Twitter at DCTV Late Show, and also on Facebook at a link right here.
Yeah, and you can find us on MySpace nowhere. Just pretty sorry, Justin.
What's
not
our
on the
orca?
MySpace.
Are we?
No, we're not doing whaling either. No,
Okay.
not after Shark Week.
Whale Week. That's what's going to come next. Whale Week.
Whale Week. It's mega sized. All right, so you've got the internet tips. You've got the, oh my gosh, please sleep before the con tips, because you're probably not going to sleep as much once you actually get there because your roommate snores. Don't start the con stressed. Don't start the con angry, off-ish. Just come in. It's fun. It's a big carnival kind of atmosphere. And we're probably the freak show, let's be honest. One of us.
Just repeat to yourself, it's just a con.
It's just a con,
I
which
should
doesn't
really
feel
just
like
relax.
it doesn't feel like it once you get there, especially if you've been prepping for it like pretty much your entire year. It's your big thing to do. We get that. That's why we do it too. Just if you bring in the negative, you project the negative. So have your little Zen koan moment there, and just breathe a little bit, be nice, and just enjoy the fun you're going to have with all of your new friends, all of your new, very closely, tightly packed, standing line friends watching us on TV.
Absolutely.
So, for the Stephen and the Allie, I'm the Brian. We will see you at DragonCon way earlier in the morning than anybody should really be up
Yes.
at a con.
Yes.
Thanks
Be
a lot,
seeing you.
and enjoy the show.